Good morning. Welcome to this wonderful edition of Bystanders at the Newsstand. I'm Christian Chiku. On this wonderful edition of the program, I have my wonderful committed reviewers here with me this morning. They are here to discuss this. So the newspaper headlines. I have Mr. Kunle and Mr. Chigoze on their way this morning as they come to justice to the newspaper headlines. This morning, let's move straight to newspaper. What we have on newspaper. We have the Punch newspaper, and also we do have the Vanguard newspaper. And let's see what we have on the Vanguard newspaper. 99.4% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 naira. That's from NDIC. 99.4% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 naira. That is from the main headline on the Vanguard this morning. Main headline on the Vanguard is Onese. Afenifere can rain knocks on Gumi. Gumi's comment challenge federal government authority. Federal government authority, ACF, is a security threat. Onese is saying that he's a security threat. His advocacy for bandits uncalled for. That's his advocacy for bandits uncalled for. Bandits are terrorists, no more, no less. Bandits are terrorists, no more, no less. That's from MBF. Arrest Gumi now. Christian Association of Nigeria is saying, arrest Gumi now. Okay, let's look at Kanu. UN tackles Nigeria, Kenya over alleged torture as FG vows to end casualization of workers. Federal government vows to end casualization of workers. State of the nation. We must renegotiate our staying together from Afenifere. We must renegotiate our staying together from Afenifere. Not poverty problem tied to high population. Not poverty problem tied to high population. Convention PDP no space tomorrow. Let's move over to the point this morning. I have NNPC marketers imported petrol figures under Buhari Jonathan. Marketers of petroleum products inflated figures under Buhari Jonathan. Pencom to prosecute errand employers recovers 19.29 billion naira pensions. Pencom to prosecute errand employers recovers 19.29 billion naira pensions. 22 governors apply as FG begin model rand funds disbursement next week. 22 governors apply as federal government begins model rand funds disbursement next week. In okay. Match setting. Look at change setting. Okay, let me run over to people this morning. I'm Christian Chuko on this wonderful edition of Bystanders at the Newsstand. I have my wonderful commentators, analysts here this morning. They're here to do justice to the newspaper headlines. Let me go straight to the Punch newspaper this morning. The Punch newspaper this morning. FG lists Zianist buildings, jewelry, brass for sale. Values body mansion. FG lists The Zionist buildings, jewelry, brass for sale, values Bade's mansion. Suspects wedding gowns, invisible brass, 64 pairs of shoes for sale. Wedding gowns, invisible brass, 64 pairs of shoes for sale. 1,620 items, including cars, houses, phones, laptops, vessels, listed. That is among the Zionist buildings and jewelry, and also Bade's mansion. Osun pleads for understanding as protesting retirees short state secretariat. Osun pleads for understanding as protesting retirees short state secretariat. Buhari's exit in 2023 solution to Nigeria's problems. That's my favorite. Buhari's exit in 2023 solution to Nigeria's problems. Ekiti herdsman backs life imprisonment for grazing on cassava farm, shooting owner. Ekiti herdsman backs life imprisonment for grazing on cassava farm, shooting owner. E-Naira app hit 100,000 downloads in 24 hours. E-Naira app hit 100,000 downloads in 24 hours amid complaints. E-currency, BVN, NIN should give comfort. Buhari tells Saudi investors. Let's move on to our guest. Good morning, Mr. Sule.
Yeah, good morning.
Have you downloaded your E-Naira?
E-Naira?
Yes.
E-Naira is not even one of the top 10 problems I have in this country.
Over 100,000.
Over 100,000 out of how many?
Download.
Out of 200 million population.
Within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours. Amid confusions, amid complaints. So, that's what comes. That is, I mean, eventually, I'm still telling. Maybe you have to go and consult e-money. E-money to be able to provide. Yeah, e-money. You remember e-money? Casey brother. I'm just listening to other side. He has to go and consult e-money to provide solution, better solution. E-Naira they are bringing. I think E-Naira, I've said it and over and over. E-Naira, how many artisans E-Naira will put on their table? How many agents, property agents, E-Naira will put on their table? How many fish traders, women, here you say selling fish and this thing, do they really care about the E-Naira? And I'm telling you, the population is 60% of Nigeria. 60% or 70% of Nigeria are self-skilled people. You know,
Exit in 2023 solution to Nigeria's problem. That's what I'm saying.
I think I'd rather disagree a bit with Apeliperi because if Buhari leave, his party is not ousted, the problem will still continue. The problem of Nigeria is the foundation of Nigeria. Let us go back to 1963 constitution, or let us go back to CONFAB, Mr. Jonathan organized, and bring out the most, effective one among those CONFAB and implement it so that this country can move forward. You can never build a high skyscraper on a shaky foundation. Nigeria, the foundation of Nigeria, the constitution of Nigeria is a strong constitution. We need all to sit down and revisit the constitution so that we start on a new, dawn. A new dawn will just begin with Nigeria. Not like all this. There's no president who will bring this country with the level of all this thing that is going on now that will bandits are there, the Boko Haram are there. Any president that comes with me inherit all these problems. So the end of Buhari, and he has contributed his own problems among the problems of that. The end of Buhari will not even end any, problem we've been facing in this country. We all sit down and go back to visit our constitution. Because the constitution, they are saying, we Nigeria, no Nigerian was consulted to write all this constitution. So it's a scam constitution. We have to rewrite it or bring out the Jonathan Confab that bring out the main message that came out of the Jonathan Compact and deliberate on it.
Okay, let's look at market has included imported.
Yeah. The importers have been saying what I was disgusted when Jonathan was in power with all the maladministration of the NMPC going on there. Then you remember it was icy. And bring it back and collect all these people, all these. It happened under
Okay, let's start with the Naira. Let's start all up with
all over.
yeah. Over 100,000 people have downloaded that app in 24 hours amidst complaints.
100,000 naira.
100,000 people have
100,000
downloads.
100,000 downloads for Naira out of population, out of what population? Out of 200 million population. The those are the minor sect of Nigerians you're talking of, and they still complain on that apps. They are on the Naira apps web that they could not access. They could not. Some people are complaining badly. So, Mr. What's it called? The CBN governor. Naira is not our problem now. Naira is not the problem on ground. Nigerians are hungry. You are bringing Naira. Nigerians are jobless. You are bringing Naira. Nigerians are homeless. You are bringing Naira. What has Naira got to do with a fish seller woman? What has Naira got to do with Gary seller woman? What has Naira got to do with a bus conductor? I mean, this is just our nonsense. I don't really. It's just a divertical,
Nigeria's first, Africa's first digital currency. You are calling it Arab nonsense.
Cryptocurrency. Yeah. How many people are into cryptocurrency in this country? Let us look at what is going on. What is the percentage? People that you see a blunt brain that poverty cost will not even think of any innovation as it is now. I'm telling you, the problem in Nigeria now is uncomfortability, hardship, and people need to be well taken care of before you can start selling all this monetary, help to them, money, cryptocurrency, all sort of things. They don't want to know. How do you want to convince a market woman that they are switching from Naira to Crystal? Why do you want to tell a bus conductor, a bus driver, that you want to use cryptocurrency to pay for your transport? How did you want? Do they have the app? Do they have it? You see, a lot of things happen. We just copy, blind copy. We are just follow. We follow too much. We follow what the Igbo do. We follow what the Western world do without even checking the space they are operating that policy on. Nigerian space is not ripe enough for now for this cryptocurrency for Naira Mr. CBN governor is bringing. And I have to tell them, Naira is not the problem of Nigeria. If they introduce Naira, I think they should go and consult e-money.
Okay, let's look at Buhari's exit in 2023 solution to Nigeria's problems. That's from
the problem will still remain. It's just that there will be a room for us. There will be a breathing space for us to solve the problem genuinely. But the problem of Nigeria is beyond which is the constitution we are operating on. The constitution is a scam constitution. The constitution is not holding fit for a fort. The constitution is not holding solid ground. It's not established on solid ground. And what I mean by is a scam constitution is they said we people agree to do so thing. Nigerian citizens were not consulted before they quickly packaged the constitution. You could remember the 1999 constitution,
Okay.
where before Obasanjo came in, it was the military that quickly packaged that constitution for when we were about to enter into democracy. So they packaged the constitution so that it will suit them, it will suit the ruler, but not the follower. And what we still say, what the elders of this country that were born, that were part of the first republic, that they said we should go back to the 1963 constitution, which was the constitution our rulers, our forefathers then, the Awolowo, the Zik, the Tafawa Balewa of the northern area. Those are the constitution they operated on, and Nigeria was very okay then. Nigeria was competing with majority of this second world country now, which has turned to we are still in third world level now. So, and our constitution has brought us to where we are. Our constitution has given enormous power to the leaders. That is why you could have somebody like Mr. Buhari, flexing his power he has. I think among the global world presidents now, Nigerian should be one of the second most powerful president in Nigeria, in the whole world. As I'm saying it, most powerful president by the power he has to. American president does not even have veto power. The Nigerian president has. So that constitution has to be rechecked, reviewed, checked. We have to go back to the constitution and bring out the constitution.
On Kanu, UN tackles Nigeria and Kenya over alleged torture.
Yeah,
What's your take?
I think that Kanu case will expose a lot of torture, mental torture, economic torture that's been going on in this country. I thank God that Kanu is exposing. Kanu case is exposing what Nigeria.
Is that not only Kanu has been tortured.
Yeah, there has been torture, economic torture, police. Is a norm now. Police torture people every day. You never seen our Nigerian police when they want to arrest you. Yeah, well, what brought up NSAS? What brought up NSAS? Abnormality of police, abnormality of police. That was what brought it to NSAS. Since if you are born in Nigeria as an infant, is that day you started to face torturing. You started to be tortured. That punishment will just be on you. Why am I saying this? There's no Nigerian that can wake up. How many Nigerians can wake up with a smiling face? How many Nigerians can wake up without being harassed by the police, harassed by the last man, harassed by the security officers mentioned? Because the fear of the police is the beginning of the sight of the police, citing the police security men is the fear of the beginning of the fear. So we have been born to be tortured in this country. We have not been born to enjoy this country. It's torture all the way. Economic torture, which is the worst torture. And thank God the UN are just waking up from the slumber. They ought to have faced their radar, set their radar on Nigeria, because being the most populous black state in Nigeria and the biggest, country in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, and the biggest black nations, UN abandoned Nigeria for a while. And you could see the protest there that they took to UN, the Oduduwa and the IPOB. Why didn't UN address that situation, address that point at that convention they had, the last convention they had? Why didn't they address that issue? Where are they just waking up? Did they just know that Nigerians are being tortured, or Kanu is being tortured? Kanu was tortured. Are they just knowing that? You see, there's politics all these guys are playing. Look at Catalonia. Catalonia wants to leave Spain for a while now. The UN has not said anything. And this UN of the body, I think they will need a change of leadership in that body. Because we remember when Gatus Bruto, the Egyptian guy, was there. We remember when this Ghana man, what's he called? This Ghana former UN Secretary General. We remember how this guy did it. It was very, 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 very smooth then. But all this, the guy, UN Secretary General now, is not doing enough. Because how long has Kanu been in detention? And they've been petitioning Nigeria since then. So he's just waking up until thousands were killed in what's it called, in the southeast. The Igboho, Professor Baji Akintoye personally went to UN and dropped a petition of secession to UN. Are they acted on it? Do they practice human rights in that UN? Sir? I think the UN Secretary General should be changed. I think his tenure has due, and we need a fresh breeze, in that UN Secretariat.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kunle.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Right?
Mr. Kunle, I have Mr. Chigozie this morning. Good to have you, Mr. Chigozie.
Yeah, good morning, Christian. To the extent it was good morning, Mazi Valentine. Good morning, Mazi Ken. Ezinwa for Ngopala, Ndewo.
Okay, you had a unique game yesterday.
Yes. I demand Chigozie Ndibo.
Okay.
Chigozie Owanile.
Okay. Let's look at.
May the good Lord continue to keep and guide every lover of peace and justice.
Okay. UN tackles Nigeria, Kenya over alleged torture.
Yes, it's a welcome development, and you see, Buhari is destined to destroy Nigeria, and that's why it becomes inevitable for him to have, man the position, the leadership position of Nigeria, so that he can fulfill destiny. So Buhari is there to fulfill destiny. So you shouldn't misunderstood that fact. And that destiny is what is standing before us. He is destined to destroy Nigeria. And there is no other person that could do that better than General Muhammadu Buhari. I cannot do it better. So that is why when people say that he is the Messiah, they are speaking in
rhetorics.
In rhetorics. So he is the only man who is qualified for the job of destroying Nigeria, and he is at best at that. And we can see that even the past presidents of Nigeria could not match up with his pedigree as the only one who come to kill, to steal, and to destroy, and to empower his own ethnic nationality, which is very well. I wouldn't say it is unfortunate, but it's rather fortunate to us, but unfortunate to everyone who believes in the unity of one Nigeria, because it is no longer tenable. This man came to kill and to destroy the entity called Nigeria, and he's perfecting that. And I may want to congratulate him on that position.
Yeah, also speaking in rhetoric this morning.
Yes, because you see, when you see somebody who can do what you cannot do, you should appreciate that strength and that quality. He only has the quality to destroy and to kill Nigeria. Nigeria, of course, in his time become more divided, and the fabrics of existence has been fast eroded. And as it stands now, there is no hope. And thank God that though it is not too late, that the United Nations has weighed into this crisis, so that they can facilitate the disintegration of this perhaps terminable zoological republic.
Okay, 99.4% of bank accounts in Nigeria hold less than 500,000 naira. 99.4% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 naira.
99.4%. What does that tell you? Less than 500. What is the value of 500,000 now? That should be around
$8,000.
Is it up to $1,000? It's less than $1,000. You see, about $800. That invariably suggests. Then divide $800 by 366 days. That will tell you a true reflection of the position of the Nigerian states. I mean, the populace or the supposed citizens of Nigeria. That if 99.5% has less than $800, then in 360,
the whole population of Nigeria.
The whole population of Nigeria, which that probably means over 200 million Nigerians are impoverished, are living below poverty level. It means that Nigeria, the supposed citizens of Nigeria, are not living up to $3 a day per day, unless they are living less below $2 per day. And what does that tell you? And because it has a direct impact on the economic status of the states, and also as it affects the citizens. People are hungry. Somebody told me this month that I said that Nigeria is hungry. He said no. Point of correction. That Nigeria is not hungry. Nigeria is hungry and broke, which of course this testimony this morning affirmed to that. So that is the level of uh, the horrible state we found ourselves in this country, where people, most of course, over 60% of unemployment. You see, 60% of unemployment, and the ones who, in fact, with due respect, do you call what you are doing a job? Yes, you are doing marvelously well, but your pay at the end of the month is not commensurate to the service rendered. You see, what does that suggest? That is an indirect slavery, a mental slavery. When what you are giving, the service you are rendering to the public, is not the what you receive in return is not commensurate to your service, then it's a mental slavery. So what we are having in this country is mental slavery. People are not happy, and you can look the level of how people, even the women, everyone passing here is very angry. Look at their face. If venture to touch them now, they will begin to fight you.
Para for you.
They will para for you. Because it's not their fault. They are coming from home. You see, it's a transferred aggression. Nobody is happy with the system. And they are not to blame. Unfortunately, the useless political elite we have, of course, have done their best, which, of course, will leave no turn than overturning this country. That is the only way forward for everyone who wants to live and aspire his or live out his dream or aspire greatness or greater height.
Let's take a look at Anambra election. I see a story here where IGP overhauls security landscape, deploys a DIG, 98 top officers.
You see, Nigeria keep on making grievous mistakes, and they have so many questions that borders on the integrity of the Nigerian state. As now, thank God, the United Nations have weighed in to address the level of torture, insecurity, marginalization, and probably, of course, genocide being sustained by the Nigerian state against the old eastern region, precisely the Igbo predominant states. So this level of genocide could no longer be acceptable, could no longer be tolerated. You see, because anything that poses mental or physical torture to a particular group of people is classified as genocide, according to the definition of the United Nations. Of course, what Nigeria is doing is, as rightly said by the Muhammadu Buhari, he said that he's going to teach the Igbo people in the language of the 1967. He said it, he can't deny that. Invariably, he's making plans to continue the genocide against the Igbo race. Because he said it. Internet cannot lie. He said he was going to teach the Igbo people the language of 1967. He's going to bring them to their knees. He's going to continue the genocide that, of course, has been sustained over 6 decades of that about. You see, and he has made his plans. Of course, that is why he imported, he has to buy to Kanu jet and all that. So that somebody told me that there is some part of Olu that we are bombed by the security agents, which have not been reported by the media. So I think what they are here to perfect is that language that they will not understand. He even described the most populous race, black race in the world, as a dot in a cycle. That is an expression of the level of internal hatred he has for the people. But the truth remains that you cannot curse a people that is already blessed of God. So the Anambra, of course, I know that unfortunately, you see how they are gagging up the media. You see, they want to, of course, suppress the media from reporting the true position of what is going on in Anambra State. So, what are those military police personnel doing? Armored cars and all sorts of armories doing deployed to Anambra State. Are they trying to declare, or in fact, by that singular action, they have declared war against the Igbo people? And probably he will want to teach them the language they understand. So when you tell somebody that you are going to kill him, you are going to mark him, you are going to exterminate him, such person cannot stand and watch you have your day, because it will, of course, expect stiff and vehement opposition from the people. Because it's the people that decides, and you cannot in any way deny the people the right to express themselves. They deserve the right to fair hearing. You should understand their plight and the predicament and show some level of concern and respect for the people. So if you think that you can, impose your will on the people and probably impose your own candidate to the people, that is invariably what you want to achieve. People will resist it. The security men and the police and the armed robber militaries are there to kill, to steal, and to enforce. You heard what happened during the APC campaign, Congress, that a policeman was captured, was caught in the video where he was sprinting for his supposed anointed candidate in APC Congress. Then what do you expect in the general election? There will be sent there, of course, military and all that to influence the outcome of the position. Well, the people have said that they don't want election to hold, and they will observe, of course, sit at home. Should the government, insist on the continuity of that election? When the people do not vote, probably they will import people from Katsina, Kanu State, of course, from the neighboring Chad to do the voting. Only what happens is the time will tell better.
Let's talk about the e-Naira. 100,000 people have downloaded the app, despite the fact that people are complaining. So, how do you see it? What's your take on it?
The true position is that there is a bleak future for this country. You see, the fundamental issues, the factors that predetermines whether an economy is promising, that the economy has the advantage of, the advantage or the tendency of revamping is not being considered. You see, what is economy? When you cannot export, you have no any product that Nigeria is known for except for bandits. Let me tell you the truth. Bandits, those people they call bandits, are the military arms of Fulani jihadis or Fulani movement. But they just call them bandits just to cover up. A situation where banditry has ravaged the entire northern region, and you are introducing e-money. How many of the northern states will participate in this? How many of our Boki will participate in this e-money? Indirectly, you are just trying to create a window or an avenue to continue to reap the southern people. Because look at the people exchange rate doing Bureau change. How many of them have bank accounts? You see, it's less than 5% of the northern people who has bank account, let alone where you don't have a viable internet facility, and you're talking of e-money. You see, the data we are using, we are even paying off. They are ripping off. So there are facilities and infrastructure you must put in place that will ensure economic viability and sustainability, and that will make sure that there is stability in the cost of commodities. The common perishable commodities that is always consumed by the masses. Look at bread. There's no stability in the prices of foodstuff, and you're talking of growth in economy. You see, that is level of uncertainty in the economy of the country. which of course e-money is not a panacea, it's not a solution to that. You see, the solution is that the people they don't have thinking faculty, they don't have the acumen to drive a viable economy. So if you don't have structures, if you don't build a system and create enabling environments that will attract foreign investors so that you can have a better control of the prices, the stability of service and the products exchange.
Okay.
If that is not done, forget about that. And that cannot be achieved because already everywhere is a god and insecurity has already perfected the entire nation. And you can see what Gumi said, the position which he represents, that Nigeria is already on the line of irreversible destruction.
Okay, thank you very much.
And Muhammad Buhari, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, is there to facilitate that single agenda. And of course, to the great credit of everyone who has sustained the tempo and for the disintegration of the Nigerian state. I remain Chigozie Biafra, Chigozie Ndibo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chigozie Ndibo. Good morning, Mr. Matthew. I'm worried this morning. I'm very worried this morning in this news I saw.
Where are you?
Not me. I think I'm part of them. 99.4% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 naira.
Thank you very much. Matthew's name was. But it is no longer, it have not been
99.4%. That is 0.06% of Nigerians, even with the political class. If this report is correct, have less than 500. Do I even have money at the account?
the issue is, I have not conducted any survey. But I don't know who did that.
NDIC.
Who did that? But what I'm trying to say in essence,
Nigeria Development Insurance Commission.
what I'm trying to say is that it is no longer a news that the wealth of the country is in the hands of few. And these are people who have been privileged to have access to government treasury. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Currently, as we speak, there is high level of looting in governance. It's just that it's difficult to prove it because if you are saying it, they want you to produce evidence. If you look at people who are under investigation, under prosecution, in terms of the people that ruled with Jonathan, that will explain it better. The same thing that happened under Jonathan is happening currently. It's just that because the government of the day is in place, nobody had the effrontery to challenge them, or nobody have access to some classified information that will unveil the level of corruption that is going on currently. Before now, when there were a little bit of check and balance in the system, when Saraki was leading the National Assembly, we saw the issue about budget pardon. Was it not under this administration? But hence, this government, the APC have taken over the leadership of the National Assembly, taking over every sphere of leadership of the country. That is why you are not hearing about corruption. How often do you hear EFCC go after politicians now? The reason is not far-fetched because almost all the politicians have been whipped into line. That's why you see that they are preoccupied with internet fraudsters. That is their attention now. Because nobody is fighting Mr. President. Nobody is fighting the government. The people that had that mindset or that had that boldness is either that have been cowed, so have been whipped into line, and the way it stands, it's just like a free day for them. And it's unfortunate. So I didn't doubt that report. How can you explain a situation where a former NSC, I'm talking about Zazi, according to a report we read the other time, that he had $9 billion stashed in an American bank. The same thing every Nigerian government official does. So that is why if you continue, even if you vote for all these old politicians to become president in 2023, the same system will continue. You can only see a change if there is a rethinking of the whole political landscape in Nigeria. As long as the status quo remains,
And whether somebody from PDP, from APC wins election in 2023, you still see the same trajectory of corruption, rigging, and the rhetoric about anti-corruption that will never see the light of the day. Did this government not make it a cardinal agenda to fight corruption, to fix the economy, to fight insecurity? Which area in these three cardinal areas can you say that this government has scored up to 50%? Obviously, there is none. And if you vote in another old politician, they still continue in that same trajectory. The only way to resolve it is to, one, restructure the country to make it in such a way that it is difficult to loot. Just as if you want to restructure the electoral process, you make it compulsory that there is electronic transfer of election result. You now remove all the possibility of rigging. Once you provide any leeway for Nigerian government officials, they will exploit it and they will loot. That is the truth. Just as every Nigerian politician, any opportunity he has to rig, he will utilize it. That mindset is already there. Then again, if you strengthen the laws and people are being arrested, people are being prosecuted, it will act as a deterrent to others. A situation where somebody will be convicted. A situation where somebody will be convicted after about 12 years of litigation. The person will now turn back to court to use technicality to quash the conviction. And the court would have said, go and try de novo, as in let the trial start again. The person will now turn to court again to use technicality to say he has been convicted, as such he cannot be retried. And there is a court in Nigeria that's saying he's correct. You cannot, that it amounts to double jeopardy in law, that you cannot try him twice. So how do you checkmate corruption in that kind of society? As we speak, this pilot scheme of national transformation, national livestock transformation program. The essay to Mr. President on is it on agriculture? Somebody Kwasiki also. Standard?
Maybe,
is that not nepotism? Is that not corruption?
Just one ranch.
No matter the number of ranches you want to build in Katsina, for instance, you have a place like Benue that happens to be the epicenter of the crisis. And Benue has before now signed on to that project of livestock transformation program. So what is deterring federal government from releasing funds to Benue State to build ranches? What I'm trying to say in essence is the level of corruption in Nigeria, it has got to a stage where it is already a norm. Just an average Nigerian youth see internet fraudster as a norm. Average Nigerian politician see corruption as a norm. Are not strong enough to hold into account. And the personalities who are piloting the affairs of the judiciary, of the enforcement agencies, all of them are compromised. If they have not compromised, somebody be wary, because stealing public funds is as good as it is the same thing as going to your neighbor's house to see his money. And if your neighbor happens to know of it, definitely he's coming after you, and he will ensure that he prosecutes you and recover his fund. But they go into government, loot treasury, and nobody's asking questions, nobody's prosecuting anybody. Even the prosecuting agencies that say they're prosecuting, we are not seeing any meaningful results.
Okay.
As we speak, there's monumental level of looting. Look at the greater looting we are witnessing now. Look how much are they using to subsidize premium motor spirit currently. It is in the neighborhood of 8 point something billion every day. So who is checking who? NNPC at a point call it under recovery. At a point, they never agreed that they are paying subsidy. Of course, this government, Muhammad Buhari, never agreed that subsidy ever existed. But currently, they spend 8 point something billion every day to subsidize premium motor spirit. And how realistic is it? So there's high level of corruption going on currently. It's just that because the government of the day is in power, nobody has access to the books to unravel the level of corruption. But I can assure you that in due course, people will be called to render stewardship.
Okay.
Because it cannot continue like this.
UN tackles Nigeria, Kenya over alleged torture of Nnamdi Kanu.
I saw that it's just like an appeal to Nigerian government and to the Kenyan government, consequent upon a petition written by Nnamdi Kanu's brother. But again, I think it is a welcome development because they have charged the Nigerian government to furnish them with every relevant information regarding the allegation. And another area is that they are seeking to know how and where and the circumstances surrounding the extradition of Nnamdi Kanu from possibly Kenya to Nigeria. And all this the government have been keeping from the public, have been shooting in secrecy. But since UN is now intervening to inquire from Nigerian government and from Kenya government, I think it behoves on the two countries to furnish UN of those relevant information. But again, I think it will in a way put Nigerian DSS in a check. Because if you are torturing somebody, though I do not, when there's allegation against Nigerian DSS or police or army in terms of torture, I always see it as being true because of the antecedents. Look at recently that memorial NSAS protest anniversary. Look at that Uber driver that was assaulted and left to it. Though he has recovered his car now, but look at the story, it doesn't add up. Just for no reason, you pass on a Nigerian, you brutalize him, you maim him, only for the Commissioner of Lagos State to be saying that the man have not officially reported the case, though his legal counsel have now written a petition officially to Lagos State police. Let's see how they will handle it going forward. So what I'm saying in essence is, because of the antecedent of Nigerian security agencies, when there is allegation of torture against them, it's very difficult to deny for them because they have had a history of human rights violation, human torture, extrajudicial killing, and to make it worse, the government is not helping matters because the government ought to investigate and bring perpetrators to justice to act as a deterrent to other intending paramilitary personnel. Can we now forget in a hurry about the killing of those policemen that went to Taraba State to arrest that kidnapping pin? I'm talking about Wadume. So if you say a situation like that, where the government have not been able to prosecute a captain and 9 other soldiers that have been indicted by a panel that was constituted by government, it leaves more questions. It tells you that there's more to it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. There's a link on the live chat. Click on that link and be part of the program so that we can have you contribute to today's program. I have Mr. Charles here this morning. Mr. Charles.
Good morning, Mr. Christian.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Let's look at Kanu. UN tackles Nigeria, Kenya over alleged torture. What's your take?
The UN you are talking about, these are things that UN supposed to have done since. Now, somebody that was arrested, a British citizen was arrested in Kenya, and he was brought down to Nigeria, and the European body governing most of these African nations, you failed to do something that is very, very needful on time, not until the guy was even arraigned and detained for so many months before you are coming out to tell the whole world that they are going to tell you, they will tell you how and how far and how was it being arrested from Kenya to Nigeria. These are things that is coming late. These are things that UN supposed to have done since, but they didn't do it on time. Well, thank God they are, maybe like I used to say, thank God they are coming down to their senses. But these are things that UN supposed to have put in place. A British citizen was arrested in Kenya and brought to Nigeria, detained in Nigerian custody, and you have not done anything about it. And you did nothing. And now the person has spent no less than months in police nets, in police custody, in DSS custody, and now you are coming down to tell people that they are going to tell you. Let's assume the guy, what about, had it been the guy was killed, what would have done? Nothing. The only thing you would have been talking about just to compensate the family and something like that, and everything would go derailed and just like a mirage. So definitely, well, we also thank God, because in life, we said anything that happened for a reason and a purpose. Thank God that they are coming back with their senses. Let's do it.
Okay, 99.4% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 naira from the NDI.
500 naira is much. Can you post for 50,000 naira in your account as you're standing here?
Why are you asking me?
I have to ask you because you're asking me too. You're asking me if about who said by who? Look at 99% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 in Nigeria. My brother, when you ask if Nigerian citizens are 100, 85% of them doesn't have 50,000 in their account. This 50,000, this 500,000 naira is too much. They cannot. What are you doing? Do you know that? What can you do in this country that you can amount to up to that 500,000 in your account? It's too much. Do you know that I was opportunity to have gone for several interviews? An interview that they will tell you that they're going to pay you 30,000 naira per job, and that they will be expecting you to buy a suit that worth no less than 20,000 naira to come for that interview. Where do you see that kind of money? Now, you find out that somebody that wants to travel for Xmas, somebody that's in Lagos that is from East that wants to travel for an Xmas, they will start saving money from now. Right from January, you start saving money just for him to travel. Of which, this is, if it's in a very well organized country, your 1 month salary can take you all through the Xmas. But my brother, that 500,000 naira is too much. And average Nigerians, some of them cannot even boast of 10,000 naira in their account. Ask anybody, this 500,000 naira is too much. They can't. But, when you are talking about 500,000 naira, how much salary will you be paid for you to be saving that kind of amount of money? You have a lot of things. Okay, thank God, Lagos State Government, according to Fasola, what's his name, that is going to make house rent. That was as of yesterday. The house rent, you are going to be paying house rent per month, not more yearly in Lagos State here. Now, yes, if such thing is done, it will also be good. But landowners, most of the landlords will allow that to happen. These are people who need the money in bulk. These are people who need the money in a larger quantity. So, my brother, average Nigeria, not even average Nigeria, go and ask anybody. Take your mic, walk around the city of Ogba. You'll find out that the least, let them open the account. The least amount you've seen, some of them is 1,000 naira. 500,000 naira is too much. What do you mean by 500? Do you know what it means to raise 500,000 naira in this country? How much are you being paid? How much? And even I met a graduate working in there's a place called after Guinness here. There's one small company that is there. I met a graduate and I asked her how much is she being paid. She said 18,000 naira. My brother, I didn't go to school. Yes, I know that sometimes it's better rough that you're leaving house than staying at home. That maybe you're not doing anything. But what is 18,000 naira going to do to you in this dispensation? And now you're talking about somebody saving 500,000 naira. Okay.
I think we have somebody online this morning. Who's online? Let's have you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yalla.
Can you hear me?
The rational mind. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, the rational mind. I have you
Good
online.
morning, good morning, good morning. Can you hear me?
Let me have your reaction on 99.4% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 in Nigeria. What is your reaction?
Well, that tells you the level of poverty in that country. That indeed Nigeria has a long way to go. If that number of people could have that amount of money in their bank account, it tells you that the misery index has shown that Nigeria is a very, very poor country, the poor people. And so the stream of incomes for Nigerians is not really anything to go by for most Nigerians. So that's my take on that. So the government needs to do more, maybe work more on the living wage. This 30,000 naira they give them every month, I don't think is enough to go by for anybody. So the government needs to do
Okay, let's
more on
look
that.
at also UN tackles Nigeria, Kenya over alleged torture of Nnamdi Kanu.
Say that again, please. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that, please? Hello? Can you hear me?
The United Nations has tackled Nigeria, Kanu over the alleged torture of Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think it's long overdue. They should have even asked the Nigerian government about it, but it's not still late. I think asking them to provide evidence as to how they were able to extraordinarily rendition Kanu to Nigeria. I think it's right for them to ask, and so the government should be able to provide evidence as to how they did that, because normally Kanu was supposed to be rendition or maybe extradited to Nigeria by true legal means, not through the means they did it through the back door. So that shows that Nigerian government is a lawless government. That's lawlessness. That's lawlessness for us. So they need to be able to prove to the international community that they did it in a legal way. It's an international protocol or
Thank you
law.
very much. Thank you very
You have to
much,
do that.
rational mind. You really spoke rationally this morning. Okay. He spoke rationally. Let's have you, Mr. Charles. Let's continue. We are talking Nigeria, Kenya over alleged torture of
Brother, these are in a nutshell, according to an average Englishman, we say medicine after death. What about this man? I think this man was killed. What could have been the reaction of this UN?
Okay.
Somebody who has been Kenya, somebody who went to Kenya and he was arrested in Kenya, he was brought to Nigeria. And for months now, he has been on his legs in their custody and you have not said anything. And now you are telling the whole world that they will tell you what he was arrested from Kenya to Nigeria. It's medicine after death.
Okay. Federal government vows to end casualization of workers. We're talking about a lady.
Yes.
Federal government vows to end casualization of workers.
How would it?
Is it not such? Because many the work just little.
My brother, what spoiled this country? When you go to most of these companies today, is because the company has been sold to so many foreigners. You work like if you go to picnic here, most of the companies are working on part. A salary to pay like 100,000, they'll be giving you 10,000 naira simply because somebody has been paid for that job. Somebody is the one recruiting and fetching money for that job. Like I told you, I met a core member. She's also graduated she's just finished her service. 18,000 naira per month. And I asked her, she said, what would she do? This is a country whereby we are not, a graduate is not even recognized. You read economics, you read accounting, you read his own. You to service. Go to most of this Western world. In Nnamdi that you should go to service, you go to see service. The first time I knew that education is nothing but a scam in this country is when I went for service. That was where I was. They began to lecture me on what you call Said, skill acquisition or something like that. And I began to ask myself, will I be able to learn such in 2 weeks? I went to mechanic to become a mechanic engineer. That was as a graduate. That was in camp for 2 weeks. I can't do that. I left here. I went to tailoring. So tell me, for them to have done that, yes, it's good. A lot of people are suffering because some people are working more than what they are earning. You find out that somebody, I met a lady too because I was opportune to have chat with so many of them. I met a lady who works in a company here close to Akmen. She said she worked from Monday to Saturday, and that should be 6 to 6. And sometimes look at the distance. When she would trek down to her own house, how much is she being paid? And there's somebody that had PLC first class in economics. When you go close to that, there's one. I think you are going towards Akmen. There's one insurance company that is there. Opposite that insurance company, that is where she works. She said they are paying her 22,000 naira. 22,000. You are paying an economics holder 22,000 naira, and you are here telling me that you and I will have no less than 500,000 naira in our own account. My brother, go to my account. I am not lying. This is the whole world. 1 naira not in my account. Because this is a country whereby once the thing is coming, another problem is coming in. How much is ordinary a cup of peace? You cannot save in this country. You cannot. The hardship is much. Are you getting what I'm saying? You cannot tell me, okay, somebody that wants to travel for next month. I told you something. There's something I said earlier. Plus, it says 500,000 naira in somebody's account. Do you know that somebody that wants to travel for next month from Lagos to East here, you have to start preparation right from January? Because if it were in a Western world, my brother, yeah, one salary can cover you for the whole Xmas. But it's not like that in this country. The country is just messed up. Yes.
Okay, finally, let's look at e-Naira. Despite the fact that people are talking about e-Naira, castigating about e-Naira, 100,000 downloads in 24 hours.
That is what they will say. E-Naira, I said it here on this platform yesterday. E-Naira is not our problem. We have so many things, and we continue to say it. Insecurity is one of the major problems we have in this country. Unemployment is one of the major things. Hardship everywhere. These are things that the government should put in place, not e-Naira. They can tomorrow, trust me, by this time tomorrow, they will tell you that 1,000 people have registered for e-Naira. That's what they will tell you again. Just for them to protect their illiteracy, their foolishness, as if people are following what they are doing. But the truth of the matter is that insecurity and unemployment is the problem we are facing in this country. So for that reason, they should know what to do about it, not e-Naira. E-Naira is not a problem. There's hunger everywhere. There's hunger everywhere. I learned in Agege here, somebody was telling me yesterday that a woman have to pledge her own child just to collect ordinary 10 cups of rice here at Agege. If something like that, we're coming back to the old times in the Bible, when people begin to eat their children. These are things that the government should be fighting for, not e-Naira. Tomorrow, like I said, they will say that 1,000 people have registered for it, and that is fake. That is not the problem we are facing here. The problem is different, and what they are fighting is different from what we are seeing. So they should do the needful. The government should do the needful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. We are gradually coming towards the end of Bystander and Newsstands. Mr. Lucky, Mr. Raphael and David, they're not here this morning. We'll be having them tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for being part of the program. Sonia Gravit, Christian Okonkwo, Taiwo, Mr. Taiwo Dunlade, Coyote Echo, good morning. Thank you for a good gesture. And I want to say a big shout out to Mr. Benson Africa of America. Mr. Benson Africa, thank you for being a wonderful. Ogonna is a good morning. Amara Kabaya, we're waiting for that kind gesture. Thank you very much, everyone that supported us this morning. I'm Christian Chuku on this wonderful edition of the program. Thank you for supporting.